Hello everybody and welcome to episode 10 of the League on Wheels podcast. My name's Andy Walker and I'm joined by my good friend and co-host Tom Oates. Tom, how are you doing, buddy?
Really good, mate. How are you, mate?
Not too bad, not too bad. Are you ready for this one?
Can't wait, mate. Been looking forward to this one. Been trying to organise this one for a while, I think. And we finally got him on.
Finally got him on. So we'd love to introduce you guys to Leeds Rhinos head coach, James Simpson-Hill.
And we've been needing to mention this, MBE.
Oh yeah.
MBE.
My new posh name.
New posh
Simpson-Hill.
Simpson-Hill, yeah.
MBE.
I don't know what's turned into me. Like, it's just posh now. I've just become posh.
When are you expecting the knighthood?
Do you know what? Kev's got to get one first, hasn't he? Kev's in field, so until Kev gets one, no one else is allowed one.
If anybody in Rugby League got a knighthood before he did, it'd be absolute travesty, wouldn't it? What does a man have to do?
Well, yeah, he's starting his next challenge, isn't he now? Coming up this year, he's doing another one.
What's he got on this side? I've heard, I'm not sure what he's doing. Where is he going with it?
I think it's just 7 more ultramarathons, but well, obviously that's like, I can't believe that's become standard.
Just seven
ultramarathons.
Yeah.
But I think the difference is where they're doing them, I think, but I can't keep up with him, mate.
I don't think anybody can keep up with him. There's no keeping up with him.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks for having me on, and thanks for moving the time.
Oh, you're very welcome. We'll make sure we can fit around you.
Mountains to get this sorted, mate. Don't worry.
We move.
I'm off to visit the in-laws, so I needed to squeeze this in when we could. But yeah, thanks for that. I appreciate it.
I'm surprised visiting the in-laws. I'm surprised you just didn't keep his times on track, so you didn't have to go.
Well, they're doing my wife's family from down south, from Salisbury. A bit of a cliche in it, being ex-military. Partners from Salisbury, but they're doing a bit of a tour of up north. So they came to ours last week, and then they've like gone up and round, and now they're up in Northumbria. So we're now going to go and meet them up there, and then like whenever they come up north, it becomes a bit of an occasion. An occasion.
Why not? Why not?
Well, we've had strict orders from yourself already, haven't we? We've had to think of some questions that no one's ever asked you.
Yeah.
With the amount of questions have been asked in past, I'm sure everyone's asked everything.
I think I'm probably the most interviewed person over the past like 6-7 years. I think I had a call with Emma Everett last week, who directed the BBC documentary, and we were chatting about it. It was about something else, and she said to me like we were chatting about it, but when they did my bit for the documentary, she said, "You've been asked so much about getting injured that there was just no emotion." She was like, "You just said it," and she kind of like, they had to sit back and be like, "How do we make him get an emotional response?" So they had to do it in another way in the documentary. How like, how I love being part of a team, and the relentlessness and stuff. But they said they interviewed me, and I was just like, I got blown up on this date, and this happened. So yeah, but
with the dropping tears on your eyes.
Yeah, coming down like that, cutting onions next to me like that. Yeah, but yeah, it's I've been asked a lot about those kind of things, and it has become second nature. So when you messaged me yesterday, I was like, think of something you think I might not have been asked, and see if you can come up with something.
We haven't slept, have we?
We haven't slept. Mine's all night. Yeah, I suppose it all becomes a little bit robotic for you, and it's all the same content that goes out then, isn't it, over and over again. Yeah,
but I've been quite lucky. Like in 2022, so there's myself, Amy Hardcastle, and John Bateman. In the build-up to the World Cup, we had like 3 little documentaries made about us. And it was really good because you got to see behind the scenes. Like John's was about like his amateur club. I think a lot of Amy's was about being like a mum, and mine was obviously about getting injured. But the guy who directed it made it into like a little mini documentary called Waking Up in Birmingham, which anyone who's in the military knows. You get injured, you end up in Selly Oak in Birmingham. Like it's so weird going from like Afghanistan suddenly waking up and you're in Birmingham. But he made a little mini documentary about it, and it's really good. It's like really hard hitting, and it's quite like he does a different angle on it. It's really good. But that won some awards as well. So for me, like I'm in quite a good position where if someone asks me, I can be like, just go watch that little documentary. Mm-hmm. Just, don't ask me, just go watch that. And he does a better job of explaining it than I do, and I was there. So yeah.
Okay, before we'll get back onto rugby then. But before we do, we introduced you as a Leeds Rhinos head coach, but you are also still a bit of a player with UK Armed Forces.
That's just a bit of fun. Yeah. One of the things when I was like Leeds commitments, like coach, player, everything when I was like at Leeds, and then being part of the England squad for the World Cup, you never had any free time. And I really wanted to play for it was the army team at the time, wasn't it? But I just never got any opportunity, and it was something I really wanted to do. And then when I retired from playing, it gave me that opportunity to be like, right, I can finally start playing for the Armed Forces team now. And then it became the Armed Forces team. But yeah, it's how I still kind of get my fix. I'm always knackered. Like we played like a South East select team a few months ago. I played 80 minutes, and I was like, at one point I had my back against the wall, and I was like,
you were hiding it at the time though.
Someone else take this carry, and I'll get the next one. But yeah, I still kind of get and I'll just love it. I've like playing for my city, playing for my country. just getting an opportunity to represent like the armed forces is
Being in that
amazing.
group again as well.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just it's like everyone's like kind of like-minded and the same mindset. We just want to get out there and crack on. And there's no like, I don't know, no like messing behind the scenes. It's just get your shirt on and let's roll. Let's get out there and play.
No, we've said this a few times as well. And the fact that we don't train together.
Yeah.
We just bond so quickly and we play like a team. It's just.
I think people, it's ace, and it's like, I never compare like being in the military versus being in the sport, because it's like so different, but a lot of the things you can take from that military environment, that just sharing information quickly.
Yeah.
Like, mate, I need you over there. No one's like, why? Like, sweet, I'll be there. And it's just that quick, and I feel like that's something we're quite unique at, is that ability just to communicate so well, so easily without
adapt
anyone.
to changes so quickly, don't we?
Yeah, and I think that's one of the big things, but that just, let's just get out there and go. And there's like no egos, no like, oh, why am I doing this? It's just let's get out there and play, guys. And
it's all a laugh at the same time.
Oh, it's ace. We have so much fun. So much fun. You play teams sometimes they might take it a lot more serious than us, but we still put up in a really good performance and we just kind of like, we have a really good time. It's ace.
So it just scratched that itch for you then, getting in a chair. You don't fancy a little bit more after you've done it?
Nah. Do you know, sometimes I think about it and I'm like, the reasons I stopped playing is I'd achieved so much, and like the year I stopped playing, I think we won the Challenge Cup against Catalan, won league leaders for the 4th time in a row, and I was like played the World Cup. And at the time I'd been player coach for 4 years, and I love coaching. I absolutely love it. And I even now I see myself, that time I played, I don't refer to it as time I played, I refer to it as the time I coached. 7 years now I've coached, in my 7th year, but I just love coaching. I love it. I love everything that comes with it, apart from stress. But yeah, so I made it. I was so fulfilled when I decided to leave and stop playing that I wouldn't go back and play like at that level anymore. Like I got everything I needed from that.
Mm. So you are now the ICE qualified Wheelchair Rugby League coach.
Yeah. I didn't realise that at the time, but yeah, I did my level 3s last year. Which honestly, coaching's a massive passion of mine, and I feel like we could massively do more within the wheelchair game. Do you know? I say to people, get out there, do your running game level 2s if you can. Do you know? I did it in January a few years ago in the absolute awful weather outdoors, coaching running game players, and I had to like stand on the path, and they were all in the mud, like doing the sessions that I was planning, and I had another student who was running around doing my cones. So I was like stood on the dry with an umbrella, like kind of giving the session while they were running around like in the mud doing it, like when I was delivering. But yeah, I really think like those courses are out there. I jumped at the chance to do my level 3s. I absolutely loved it, and it took, you get 2 years to do it, and I did it in 10 months. I really knuckled down and did it, and I did it organically. Like I started at the beginning of last year in pre-season, and I did it throughout the season. So things I was doing on the course, I would do at training, I'd implement them. So one of the units is you have to do like an 8-week training program from a player. So I kind of took one of our players, Cam Hills, who was really new to the sport. He's only been playing a year and a half, 2 years. So I like used him as my guinea pig, and I used the 2-month, 8-week session around him. Like, what can we do? Someone who's brand new to the game, never played a wheelchair sport ever. So he was my guinea pig. So everything I was doing, I was like using him, like kind of catch and pass, and catch and pass under pressure, decision making. I would use him and as my kind of guinea pig. So every session I did, I would build it around him. So when I delivered that unit, it was all real time, current, done properly, not just kind of like half-assed. I actually did it throughout the season, and I finished it the week after the grand final. So we played the grand final, and then I had one session after, and all my players came in their own time to do that one session that I was like observed on to deliver to pass or not. So yeah, it was quite a nice little feeling for them coming as well.
That's cool.
Would you say your experience of playing the game at an high levels made you a better coach?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Like, because I know what works, what doesn't, I understand the wheelchair game of it, and I think a lot of people don't fully understand when they get into his coaching the minute details of what you've got to do in the chair and stuff, and what when you see little things about half turns, done this, done that, why is it going that way? I feel like being in the chair and experiencing it, you can explain that a lot more, and then everyone knows that you've played. So when you're speaking to players, they know that you know. So that kind of, it's easy to kind of bridge that gap a bit. They know you know. Yeah. But I also, being a coach, like a player coach at Leeds, and then being part of the England setup, dealing with other coaches, that's interesting because you're you kind of see things and you're like, oh, I wouldn't do it like this, or I would do it like that, or what, do you know? So you get like, it's quite interesting being a coach while being coached as well. Like you see kind of a lot of, no, it's not a conflict, but you're like, I know my players so well that this isn't maybe how I deliver that. But then you've got to realise coaches are delivering to a whole different group of players. So they've got to tailor it to the whole group where you kind of know individual players. But yeah, mate, any coaching opportunity coaches get, I'd jump on it if I were them. I'd everything you could. I'm constantly learning more. Do you know, I'm coaching, helping out with Scotland, helping out with England pathways in the running game, with the Origin setup. Anything you can do coaching-wise, if you're a coach, just get on it and learn and get more information.
You just mentioned a couple of other little projects coaching you've got going on there. So tell us a little bit about your role with Scotland at the minute.
Yeah, like long story, Martin Gill took over the Scotland team this year, and I always said as a joke, if he ever got to Scotland, I'd come and join him up there in some capacity. And he moved to Edinburgh and then started Giants and then moved on to Scotland. And when he got the job, I was like, oh, I said I'd help you out, didn't I? You know, so, but I did. I stuck to my word, and it's really good actually. So I sit outside the regular framework. So I've got like Gilly and the assistant coaches, and I'm like, we call it skills coach, but at the time there was nobody up there with any Super League experience, especially coaching the Super League, where I had 6 years experience doing that. So my kind of role is when we're up there, the coach and the assistant coaches will come up with all their kind of what they want to do, the objectives, what they want to get out of the sessions. So I will take blocks where I will bring in small-sided games with constraints, things like that, to get the players thinking and moving in different ways that you kind of need at Super League level and international level. And that a lot of that comes from my experience coaching Super League and my experience playing Super League and internationally. So I kind of take my blocks off and do that, and then Gilly goes and sits up on his little thing looking down while I'm doing that, and then he can kind of shout down or radio down and be like, I swap these players out, and he can see us kind of moving it. But it's really good, and the thing I like about it is the challenge it brings. Like coming from England where you get everything, you know, you don't have to, like, it's all there, to Scotland where you get nothing. And it's really good as a coach to test myself in the environment where I'm like, suddenly you don't have access to nutritionists and dietitians and sports psychologists, and kit's just not lying around for you to get. It's like people have to, there's budgets and there's constraints and things, and for me that's a really good test. And if you can do it in that environment, you could do it in an environment where you do get access to more stuff. But the players are fantastic because you're dealing with players who they're not the top shelf players, as in England's going to try and poach those players. So you are dealing with players who maybe haven't played in Super League before, or maybe this is their first year at Super League, and then you get dealing with some Championship players as well. So a lot of the players that are there really want to play for Scotland, and that's really good to work with players that just really want to represent Scotland and maybe haven't had the opportunities that other players have. So it's getting the best out of them as well. And it's there, it's there, and the growth we've made in a year has already been absolutely fantastic, and I love it. Like I set off driving up there at 5 o'clock in the morning the other month to get there for training, and I wouldn't do that if I didn't think we could do something special there as well. And yeah, it's exciting. I'm back up there in a few weeks to work with them, but I love having that kind of little bit of free rein outside the regular setup where I can kind of put my own stamp on it and really get the players thinking and making decisions and testing themselves under pressure.
You're playing are excited about it, and there has been a little bit of a buzz around Wheelchair Rugby League in Scotland with the inclusion of Edinburgh into Super League, and things looking really good for Scotland. They've been included next year's World Cup now as well. Do you see yourself going forward into a World Cup year with a little bit of work with Scotland?
I don't know. Like me and Martin have chatted about it, and when I came on, it was like for this year to really help him get the team up and running, and I don't know if I see myself long term at Scotland. I just really want to help them out and help Martin out and do something special. And Martin's a fantastic coach. You know, he's one of my mentors, and I still speak to him now and bounce off him now when I've got questions. I have done for a few years, and I really believe in what he's doing up there at Edinburgh and at Scotland. And it just shows like how Edinburgh progressed this year, getting incrementally better when they play games. It's all down to how Martin is coaching them and how he's kind of getting the message across them. But he made Leeds what we are today. Like the 3 years he was with us, like he laid the foundations, and I kind of carry on his, like a bit of his foundation. I've put my own spin on a lot of things, obviously, but what he started off at Leeds is we still build on that now, and we still play on that. I've got a lot of time and respect for him and help him out as much as I can. But yeah, next year I don't know what we'll do. I don't know where I'll be next year, but I really believe in what he's doing up there, and it's exciting. And I think the players will love it as well. And they can see, I think losing to USA in the World Cup was a massive wake-up call to them. And they've had change. There's been movement behind the scenes, and I feel like Martin he's just got to bring new ideas, something different. And Martin's done that, and the team is definitely shifting. And I can see wins coming up in the future.
Going in the right direction, definitely.
Massively, mate. Yeah.
We see that you obviously rate Gilly. You just mentioned there is one of your mentors.
Yeah.
One of your mentors. Have you got any other ones you'd like to have?
Well, yeah, I think everyone should. Like, as a coach, you've got to have people you bounce off, and even if it's just to soundboard ideas. I won't name like loads of names, but like there's coaches at Leeds, like running game coaches. Do you know, when Rowan was at Leeds, he was really good with me. Do you know, he'd came to a few games. Do you know, like I could pretty much pick up my phone and message Rowan now, and I know he'd message me back. You could ask him a coaching questions. You know, he was brilliant with me, and I know, like when he left Leeds, it kind of they weren't getting the results they wanted. But then you look at Leeds now, the young players that are coming through. That was his big thing, was that development, getting those young players through. But he was fantastic with me, and he got me thinking differently, looking at things differently, and yeah, he was great for me. And there's people within the RFL as well. Do you know, like working with the England men's pathway, like just being around different coaches, like, and learning different things and seeing things differently. Like you learn so much from other coaches, and sometimes you learn what not to do. You're like, oh, I'm not going to take that bit. But then sometimes you learn, oh, that's amazing, I've never thought of it like that, and you just take all these different ideas. Like, I think the best thing to do is surround yourself with as many different coaches as possible, and then cherry pick what you think works for you. Don't ever try and copy a coach, like, 'cause it just won't work. But take things from different coaches and use them, and build your own way of doing it. But definitely, like, learn off other people. Constantly learn. Like, I think it's like a driving test. I think when you pass, so I got my level 3s. That is the minimum level. Like, when you pass your driving test, you're at the bottom. Then you learn how to drive. And I feel like with everything you do in life, and I'm the same with coaching, as soon as you pass, you're at the bottom. So then you've got to get out there and spread yourself as many ways as you can, and learn as many different things as you can. Different aspects, different ways of doing things, different ideas. Maybe be challenged. Like, I'm a big advocate, and I say to my guys all the time, challenge me. If you think I'm wrong, ask me, tell me why, and then we'll chat about it. And then they'll find out they're wrong. but I think challenge is really important as well. And being in those environments challenges you, and you should want to be challenged as well, and you should invite it. Challenge me, ask me. Like, if you think I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. Or why am I wrong? And we'll have a chat about it. I think as a coach, you should be challenged, and I want to be challenged, and my players challenge me whenever they think I'm doing something that might not work or might not be right.
I think coaching is a very individual thing. It's whatever works for that individual coach and their group.
Yeah.
So it's always good to have that little bit of feedback from everybody as well, and ask for advice. I think some people might be scared sometimes to ask for advice, making them feel weak.
Yeah, no, I agree, and we have a bit of a saying at training, like when we do something and we set it out. So I'm not very big on really rigid drills, things like that. I'm like, you need ball in hand, you need to be making decisions, you need to be seeing what's in front of you. Do you know, you could make the best attacking shape of the planet, and then it just fail constantly. You need to be able to adapt to it, and the way to do that is to get your players playing games, you know, with constraints and things like that. So when we might go through something, might be like, this is the shape we're looking for. Can we hit this line, and can we have that option out the back? And then you get them out there to do it, and it's going to go wrong because you haven't, like, you've got them out there the first time. So I kind of say to my guys, like, it's going to go wrong. Don't worry about it. We'll get in, really quick intervention, back out there, and then we'll do it. And then you watch them learn, and that's what I love about coaching. You watch as it's unfolding, this kind of small-sided game. When you see the players starting to do it with all these different kind of decisions they're having to make, that is, for me, is the enjoyment, where you're watching them learn in real time. Yeah. And then the best sessions where you do that, you almost step back. It becomes self-governing. The players are doing it themselves. And then you watch, and suddenly the players get everyone in and be like, that was really good, but can you just like hit that line tighter, straight back out, straight back into the game? And that, for me as a coach, is my most exciting bit, where you can get them rolling, give them their interventions and the little bits of feedback. Then you almost step in the shadows, and you're watching, and you can see the learning happening in real time. And when, like, Michael Collins, one of my assistants at Leeds, like we stood together, and I say it to him all the time, I'm like, can you see the learning? Can you see this learning unfolding where the players are starting to get it? So that's how I like to do things. I like to get the players out there moving, give them little bit of feedback, get out of there and watch them kind of learn and figure out what's going on. But mate, I just love that level of coaching where the players start to take the ownership of it. But you've got to say to them to start off with, make mistakes. It's going to go wrong. I don't care. Just move on. Nobody cares. Like, you watch us play like when I used to play. It'd be me, Tom, Nathan, Josh, Jody, really senior players, all play for England, all like played against France, all play at the top level. If I made a mistake, Tom won't come up to me and be like, you dropped that ball. Because he knows I know. I know he knows I know. And then I know he knows, like we all know. So he won't come up, it kind of, you get rid of that whole conversation then. Because you all know, you've made a mistake, you know you made a mistake, just move on. Just move on. And the players know you know, and they know you're going to move on. So it kind of let the players make mistakes, let them find, and they're not going to know the limit of what they're doing if they don't make mistakes. So let them. Do you know, like an example is Cam Hills, who, again, I'll go back to him, but I used him for my level 3. He couldn't, he was struggling to two-handed catch and pass one way for, at range. So I'd be like, mate, just start winging it about at people. Do you know, I don't care if it's not there. Eventually you're going to dial that in. And you start seeing those passes go from not making any of them to making half of them, to then he's making most of them, to then he's making all of them. And I'm like, just wing it, mate, and see what happens. Test yourself, find out where your boundary is. Don't be super safe, just doing this safe pass. Test yourself, get it out there, see what you can do. And I think that's what I really believe in, getting those players to make mistakes. And then when you get to the big level, they've already got them out of the game there. They're not going to make those mistakes. They start getting confidence in what they're doing. And yeah, I kind of say to all my guys at the start of the session, it's going to go wrong. Don't matter. Just move on and let's keep going.
It's a great way of looking at coaching, getting through the repetitions, make them find their own solutions and develop themselves as players and leaders as well.
I read Dame Sue Campbell, who was international netball coach. She was the head of women's FIFA and all that lot. I read her autobiography ages ago, and there's a bit in it where she's at Loughborough and she's doing this netball session in the 60s, and she's running around, she's got cones out and all this, and she's running around, she's like, you be there, I need you to do this, I need you to do that. And then this rugby union coach at the time, I can't remember his name, but he wrote some famous books. He came to watch one of her sessions, and they were very big on challenge, this group of coaches at Loughborough. And he was like, oh, right, that's interesting, why don't you come and watch my session? So she did. She came away from it being like, God, his coaching's awful. He barely does anything. He gets the players out there, they start doing it, he'll go in and give her feedback, ask some questions, and then come out. So she invited him back, and she doubled down on the structure and the cones and the shouting. And he said to her afterwards, he was like, that's a really good session, that, but can I just ask you a question? And she goes, yeah. And he goes, so who makes the decisions on the pitch, on the court? And she goes, well, they do. And then he goes, so when do they practice that? And that moment for me was like, yeah, when do they practice that? You being there in their ear, micromanaging, helicoptering, you're like, they're not learning at all, they're just getting told to do something. No questions are getting asked, no challenging, no nothing. You're just like, you have to be here. So then when that doesn't work, where's the adaptation? Where's the flexibility? You need the players to find the solutions themselves, making decisions under pressure, and then they will find their own solutions. Without even thinking it, they'll start doing things differently because options will be getting shut down. And I really believe that's the level you want to get to. I don't believe in micromanaging. Don't believe in just shadowing people and telling them exactly where they need to be. The players will find the option. You just got to, as a coach, set the constraints, set the challenges in the environment where you will get the objective by just guiding them a little bit in where they need to be, and then they will learn.
It's modern coaching, modern forms of coaching.
Don't get me wrong, I've still got a bit of that ex-military in it, where when it doesn't work, I'm like, and it doesn't happen much, but I think because it doesn't happen much, when it does happen, I think it probably lands a bit more where they're like,
you always get a bit regimental.
Yeah, they're like, why the fuck did that happen? And they're like, yep, okay, and you're like, right, sweet, let's go.
Yeah, so there's other ways of getting your point across as well.
Yeah.
So you're there, top level coaching.
Yeah.
So where would you say the current, the level 2? Yeah. It's a basic day, isn't it? Yeah. Do you think there should be more to that than the basic day?
Absolutely.
With new potential coaches?
Absolutely, yeah. I think level 2, I did one, I shadowed one a few months ago with John McMullen, and it's kind of a safety net. So it's like if I'm coaching, and I need someone to go off and do something separately, you've got someone who has done a one-day course to then be safe. So you can be like, mate, can you just get them over there, do a catch and pass session, and they can safely do it, and it's covered. So that's kind of the main objective with that. For me, it doesn't make you a head coach. It's very basic, but I do think down the line at some point we need to make a wheelchair-specific level 2.
We've had a few people mention that there should be more to that level 2.
The wheelchair side.
The wheelchair side of it, yeah.
Because delivering, like your wheelchair level 2 is very big on delivery and safety. Like, can you, and when you assess that, you're very much looking at, is it safe? Are you saying to people, like, if people got earrings in and you need to be, like, that's the things they want you to be picking up on, and safe delivery. They're not really challenging you in a sense where you're planning kind of elaborate sessions, things like that. It is a bit of a safety net, but I do think if you merge just a wheelchair level 2, a wheelchair specific level 2 would be nice down the line. But then how do you do that? I'm not 100% sure. Do you do it as a group? But then you need X amount of coaches who want to do it. Yeah. So you can't do it for 2. You need 6, 8 to do it. But it needs to be elaborate. It needs to be more in depth. Definitely, yeah.
What about having more coaches doing it, or a number of coaches doing it? I think with Wheelchair Rugby League only being 20 years old, some of the best players are still playing. This has been pointed out. So I think we're still at a phase where a lot of these players may stop playing so much and then go into the coaching side. So hopefully that's something there where they can get into at that point.
I'm the first, really. Like when I think about it, I'm the first who stopped playing at a relatively young age. I'm still in decent nick. I know if I started playing again, I'd make a big difference. Like when I played for the Armed Forces team, end up getting left out there for 80 minutes. But I coached because I could play, and I think that's one of the things. Is like I could be like, well, I'll just do it myself then. Like I coached because I could play, and I really like that, and that kind of is a nice feeling to be like, I know I could get out there and do this, but I want to coach. I made that choice. But you're absolutely right. There is a lot of players. When Jack was in Australia, he coached Queensland because he couldn't really play any high level out there. So, but I don't know if that's something he'd look at doing later down the line. But I think we are a few years off seeing the next player retire and moving to properly coaching, and that's when we need the courses ready for them, their education and their development.
I think with Tom Coy's new role at RFL, though, that might be something. I think it is something they're looking into and improving on there, and obviously helping any coach.
It's a good chance for him to work on his coach development as well. Like obviously me down south, because I know he started his level 3s as well. Like now he's up in Manchester, he's at the RFL, coach development. It's right there. Do you know that's a good opportunity? And then them looking at increasing everyone else's coach development as well.
I think that's one thing he said he does want to go around to different teams and do the coach development.
Yeah, see how everybody else does it.
See how everyone else does it.
And it's different everywhere. And I watch coaches, and I'm not going to name names, but I watch them and I'm like, God, I won't do it like that. I'm like, oh, I won't do it like that. Why are they doing that? And you still do it because I read a book a few years ago called Rebel Ideas. Have you heard of it?
No,
Matthew Syed, and it's against like echo chambers and like things like it's against that. Like if you have the same people around you who do the same thing all the time, you're all going to think the same and say the same. There's no challenge. There's no what if. And it goes into like the England football junior team or whatever Gareth Southgate used to coach before the men's team. They got like Stuart Lancaster, Steve Redgrave, all these different people in to this big thing to be like, how can we make this programme better? Because you used to have loads of people from football going, this is what we do. Why? Oh, we've always done that. Yeah. So you'd have Stuart Lancaster about, well, that's ridiculous. Why not try this? And it's a really good book for people who want to look at like just not thinking the same and trying to like just get different ideas in the different thingies. I went to Wheelchair Basketball. I had a meeting with Wheelchair Basketball a few years ago. Chatted to them about their coaching, their pathways, their fundamentals. Wheelchair tennis, wheelchair rugby, kind of the Paralympic version. I reached out to all of them and had meetings with them. Wheelchair tennis are amazing. They sent me all their like training data and all their like videos of their kind of chair skills, because wheelchair tennis is one of the only of the wheelchair sports that's really omnidirectional. Yeah. So you think up, back, left, right, diagonally. With wheelchair, you're back, you're turning 4 meters, you go again. That's very wheelchair tennis kind of skills. So they were fantastic. So I went to all these other wheelchair sports and learnt loads. And then they sent me loads of information as well. So that's another thing, like for your coach development, speak to other sports. Like, it don't matter what they are, it don't matter if it's a wheelchair sport, any sport, shadow people. I reached out to Lois at Rano's Women, when I went from player coach to coach, because she kind of went from player to coach, like about the transition, and she was fantastic. And all the coaches at Leeds I know I can reach out to and ask them for advice, like Chev and everyone, they're fantastic with me. But don't just sit in your echo chamber. Yeah. Like, get out there and challenge yourself and speak to different people. Because I can guarantee you, no matter how experienced you are, there'll be someone out there who does something better than you do. So go find them and learn from them and take it in.
Definitely, it's a good site to have, definitely, for sure. You just mentioned a little bit there, as well as coaching with Scotland, you're working with England Pathway as well at the minute. Could you tell us a little bit about what you're doing there with them?
God, I was so at my depth. Like, it was,
oh, really?
Talk about challenged. Yeah, it's like, so if anyone don't know, like the England Men's Pathway, they have the Origin, Lancashire versus Yorkshire. It's the academy players, so 17, 18-year-olds who hopefully one day will play for England. So they train like a Tuesday, Thursday night, and this is putting them in an environment where Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they're in training in a camp at Leeds Beckett, like full coaching staff, access to everything. Then on Saturday they play Yorkshire versus Lancashire. So I got a call off Paul Anderson, and I know Paul quite well, and I respect him a lot, and he's another one that like I'd reach out to if I have questions, and he was like, you should finish your level 3. I know you engage a lot with all the coaching stuff the RFL delivered. Do you want to come and do this? And I was like, yeah, mate, that's an amazing opportunity. I'd love to come on board and learn. And then he went, you'll be with the Lancashire team. And I was like, oh, mate, I'm like the only Yorkshireman in a room of 30 Lancashiremen. But it was fantastic, and I was out of my depth. I got there, there's all these players who are like, some of them you've seen play for Super League, young lads. And you're going out there, and you're going out on you're on a pitch outside, and you're coaching running game players, and you're taking responsibility to like the coaches are leaning on you, being like, can you deliver this bit? And you're like, okay, yeah, I'll deliver that. But then for me as well, the challenge was, can I say to the coaching staff, I'm not comfortable doing that, or I don't know enough about that, or yeah, I'll get involved at this part, but I feel like at this part I can't really help. So that was good for me to be able to say, like, I want to get stuck in, I want to do as much as I can, but sometimes you can't, and it kind of got me good at being like, I'm not good at this bit, but this guy is good at this bit. This is the better person for this role. But it was fantastic being challenged in that way and learning and getting out on the pitch. And I definitely, so I've done 2 of the, like, so it's 2 camps a year, 2 full weeks, and I learned a lot by the end of it. And by the end of the first week, I was getting really a lot more comfortable with it and coming out of my shell. And by the second camp, I was like really confident in delivery, messaging, you know, like getting out there and running the sessions, and then just kind of stressing to the players that end of the day, the coaches are there for you. Please ask. Like, I really think you need that relationship where you want players to challenge and you want players to ask. But it was incredible, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot from it, and I learned a lot. Some of the stuff I've taken away that will get used at Leeds next year, especially in pre-season, and the way of looking at certain things as well. But I've learned a lot from all the coaches, and it was really nice to be like, in the 2022 World Cup cycle, we were pretty much based at Beckett. We had all the performance staff there, sports psychologists, nutritionists. They're all there because they're all part of the England men's and women's pathways. So being back in that environment was like being back in that pre-World Cup environment. I'm like going in, and like Cam and Sarah are there that I've known for years, and we're like having coffee and chatting, and then we're going out to but now I'm working with them, where before they were like the staff, and now I'm part of that staff, and that was like just really exciting. And I still talk to them like probably every week now, those people. But yeah, that was really exciting to be part of that. But again, challenge yourselves. I was so out of my depth that first day. I couldn't say boo to a goose, but you've got to portray that image of like, like that. But yeah, but challenge yourself, get out your depth, and I did that, and hopefully I get another shot at it next year, like to change the coaches. But that was my level 3. You got to be a level 3 to do it, to open the door for that. But I'm forever thankful for like Paul Anderson for asking me to do that and pushing me into getting out of my comfort zone.
I was just going to ask if there's an opportunity to go further with that and going with the running game. Is that something you'd like to do, or would you like to take that experience and put it back into a wheelchair?
I definitely want to move into the running game. Yeah, and there's I've seen opportunities come up as well, and then I've been like, shall I go for that now? And I'm like, it's challenging, and when you start, what's really nice about like the Origin setup and stuff is, you know, people behind the scenes know you, and you know that the people you get talked about, and they see you as a coach, and they see that what you're doing, they see your development, they see like how good you are at it. It's kind of a nice feeling to be like, actually, I know I'm quite good at this, because people are giving you these opportunities. So I've had a few other little opportunities. I've had people message me about roles and jobs that have come up, and I've been kind of like, no, I'm at Leeds for now, but definitely, and I'd really like to move into the women's game at some point. Like, I've got a lot of affinity for it, because I feel like it's always a bit ahead of Leeds, a bit ahead of the wheelchair game, and then we're kind of the next cab off the rank. So when they do something, I'm like, right, 3 years from now, we might get moved to that role. So I think the women's game is the next step for me in some capacity, but I don't know when, and I don't know where. I did a thing with Jodie Cunningham a few months ago. We did a call for like FIFA, like a bit of a team building day where we got the band back together, the pre-World Cup ambassador role. And they and Jodie was like, said the same thing, and she was like, send me your CV and I'll see if there's a role at Saints. I was like, I don't know about that. But yeah, I do think I will, at some point I'll move out of wheelchair and I'll move into, I'm not comfortable in wheelchair, I don't mean it like that, but I've been doing it 7 years and we've achieved a lot. And it is hard my biggest preoccupation is finding ways to challenge the players constantly. No session we do is the same. And I'm always adapting it and changing it. And the players don't sometimes realise how much you are adapting and changing and how you're trying to stay ahead of them and keep them challenged. But we've been so successful, like since Super League started in 2019 to the end of last year, we've won stuff every year. It is hard to stay at that level. Inevitably, you're not going to be able. It's just nature of sport. So there is a point, and I think this with every coach, where you will run out of ideas, and new blood is needed, and new ideas are needed. So I'm not there yet, but eventually I will have to recognise that I'm like, maybe I've come at the end of what I can do here. Maybe it's time for someone else to come into that role and bring new ideas in.
Would you say you enjoy coaching the running game more?
No. I just enjoy rugby league. Like, I'm a rugby league fan. I enjoy rugby league, and I absolutely love coaching wheelchair, and I love coaching my players. I just love them, and I know them intimately, and we've been through a lot together. Like a lot of hardships, a lot of things that I love them, and they will always be my like focus and priority. Like I will defend those guys, when they need to be, but I need to know that they're going to be left. Later on down the line, they're going to be left in safe hands as well. Yeah. Like whoever takes over from me has to do their own thing, but I need to know that they're going to put the players first no matter what.
That's the next challenge.
Yeah.
So it seems daft we've hardly talked about Leeds Rhinos.
I was going to say we should
the season's over though, isn't it?
We should a lot of coaching. We need to follow on to speak about where Leeds have been this year and how you think.
We can touch on it briefly. I don't mind. It's kind of water under the bridge at this point. Like the season's over. Like we're all done and dusted. But the water under the bridge for us was kind of a long time ago. But the decision was taken out of our hands. And there's not really a disappointment in the players. We were told we couldn't perform in the playoffs because the bottom line is it shouldn't have got to that stage. We should have been able to come to some kind of we should have been able to restructure it. But that came into but it shouldn't have got to that stage where we were getting texts on a Wednesday night from members of the RFL being like, can you play on 11 o'clock on the Sunday? It shouldn't have ever got to that stage. We talk about Super League being like the top of the spear, and we want it to be as professional and elite as possible, but it needs to be kind of governed like that as well a bit. Shouldn't have got to that stage where we were scrambling and people didn't really know what was going on and there was questions. But yeah, like you speak to our players, there's no disappointment. Like we made our decision. We went to Ewan's wedding. We'd made that decision 2 years ago. That was going to happen on that day, obviously. So it was taken out of our hands, and anyone will tell you, like in sport, you got to control the controllables. It's one of the biggest cliches out there. We couldn't control that. We were taken out of the playoffs. That's basically the crux of it, innit? So, you can ask any of our guys. There's no doubt in our minds we'd have made the grand final. Yeah. We know we'd have been there. We know we'd have competed. But it was taken out of our hands. So. That's really it, isn't it? We can't really say it you don't. So what if you don't know unless you do it? But yeah, it was taken out of our hands.
At what point did it get to where, obviously these fixtures were scheduled down for? Obviously, I can't remember what day Ewan's wedding were, but there must have been talks in the background saying, look, either. I mean, what was the plan when the original dates came out? Were you going to put in a different looking team? Or?
Yeah. So originally we kind of told Halifax. We said to them. And I don't want to throw anyone under the bus or anything, because it shouldn't have got to that stage, bottom line. No one's at fault, But, we said to Halifax, we can't do it. We've got a wedding. Can we change it? They said, no, we won't be able to. And you're like, fine, it's your prerogative. It's cool. So then we said, right, great, we'll send a reserve team. We'll send whoever we've got. We'll patch them up, get them out there, so the game goes ahead. So we all kind of stepped back at that point, because we had no impact. It was like, we're all at the wedding. So the foundation said, we'll get a team there then. And then a couple of weeks before, you couldn't get a team together. At the reserve level, you're in summer holidays, people are away, people are doing stuff. So then the foundation kind of got in touch. And at this point, we're kind of out here. We can't really do it. We're going to the wedding. And then it just kind of got to the stage where the couldn't get a team together from the foundation's perspective. So we were like, well, no worries, like you guys that, and then that were really it. Couldn't get a team together, and then it got to it kind of that message. I don't know. This is where it got a bit. There was too many chats going on, like where you've just got to leap to the foundation. That's their job. That's their role. That's why they're there. So then I was getting messages from people, and I'm like, I'm out of it here. We're out. We're at the wedding. That's the priority. Someone's wedding. I got married this year. Like I'd move heaven and earth to go to that wedding. Do you know? Like it's a very special day for you and Jamie. So, and then it all just got murky and confusing. Nobody really knew. Like, messages getting fired around, and then I think that's what kind of convoluted it. Was nobody really knew who was communicating and things, and then it just got to that stage. But it should have been. I think the bottom line, it should have been dealt with. There should have been more free weekends where we could have just. I even spoke to Jack at the Nottingham game, the Nottingham Magic round, and we were like, should we just play next weekend, like behind closed doors, just so we've played? We've not played Halifax this year. Yeah. Like we were like, should we just try and do it? And then Jack was like, yeah, we'll see if we can get it up and running. And then like 2 hours later, I was like, I was in England camp that weekend. But you know, we were just like, let's just do it behind the scenes. No, like not publish it. Let's just have a game. Do you know, like mates against mates, team against team. Let's just do it because we've not played each other. So but. Season's done now, isn't it? We don't like we're all like no one's disappointed, nobody's like gutted about it. We're just like that was out of our control. On to next year.
So has planning already started for next year then? Yeah, I think we did a bit of a poll pre-season, and Leeds were definitely one of the top teams who were predicted to go all the way again. Yourselves and Halifax were probably main too. So has planning for 2026 started now?
No.
Have you got?
No, until like Nathan's off to Australia, so he'll be playing there. We've got our end of season due 8th November. So England men playing Australia, wherever they're playing, it'll be on TV, and then we're out that night for our end of season due, some karaoke. Do you know? 2 hours of me on a microphone, but then we'll start then. You've just got to switch off. And when you like, there was a few years ago where, like I think there was Tom and Nathan played every game possible in the Super League. I think it was 2022. Played every game possible in the Super League season, including the Challenge Cup, and then played every World Cup game ever. And then they got to the end of it, and they were just like, "We need to rest." Like you got that, so you just chill out, guys. Go take some time off. But I'll start thinking about it in a bit, and you just take some time off, chill out, and then get your heads, like have a bit of time. It's a hobby at the end of the day. As much as we want to, just chill out, guys. You know, take it off, and then we'll start prepping. But my prep will start like probably. I say it's not my prep. I'll start writing stuff down.
Ideas.
And then I'll start building it. But at the moment, and then until we know what the season looks like next year, we can't really decide. But hopefully we start earlier, so we'll shorten a pre-season, and until that kind of. And obviously another team's got to join Super League. So
the thing is, though, it'll be before we know it.
Oh, of course, But like, you think Nathan goes to Australia in 2 weeks or something, and then gets back, and you're like, so he's away 3 weeks, and then he's back, and then you're like, well, they've got the due, and that's mid-November, and then they've got the like test matches, and you're like, it'll fly around. But we'll start prepping. We just love it, mate. Like we just love it. Like we want to play. Bottom line is we always want to play, and we'll play anyone. Like we played you guys in a friendly. We played York, played Cass in friendlies over the past couple of weeks. Anyone can message me and be like, do you want to play? And on a Tuesday night, we'll be like, yeah, we'll play, mate. We just want to play, and that's the bottom line. Is like, let's play.
Yeah, but you'll be in a chair before that in November.
UK Armed Forces, I'm looking forward to it. Against Wales, It's good because, like, Wales, obviously Jodie plays for Wales. And then come up against Jodie, it's always quite funny now. Like, because I'm not playing, and obviously she's the captain at Leeds, and I'm the coach. And there's a picture of us playing each other in 2022 in the mid-season test. And there's a picture of her just shoving me over. And I'm like, as I'm like mid going over, like arched up, she's laughing at me. And I'm like almost going over, and I'm like and she's just going... And then, so there'll be a nice bit of like, you know, like Leeds against Leeds.
So it's photograph evidence of a shove. It's
mate, do you know, come on, like, do you know, I've been shoved. It'll be, UK Armed Forces against Wales. I'm really looking forward to it. It's good. Do you know, I love getting in the chair for those kind of games. I love playing for UK Armed Forces as well, mate. But I'm like, it'll be good. And it'll be a proper international. So when we played down south, we had like 12 players, didn't we? Do you know, we were in and out, and this will be like, it's a test match. So it'll be like 8 players. Do you know, Ds, ABs, that'll be the kind of the ratio. So it'll be a proper game.
We've asked a few people, what's your opinion of going forward? What Super League, Wheelchair Super League should look like?
I've been involved in the game a long time, and I've coached. I've I've played for England, I've captained England, I've got a lot of kind of experience in this world, and I really do think we're at the stage now where, so for example, you go on the RFL website, Wheelchair Super League, exclusively we'll talk about Super League, is in the elite section. We come under the Super League banner, Betfred Super League, you go on the Super League website, men's, women's wheelchair, yet we come under inclusion, where you've got LD and PD, so we're in the same kind of world, which is kind of community based, where I think we're at the stage now where the Super League needs to be ring fenced and kind of moved into a more performance, like governed by a different branch, where we're not so much, we are still community, but this is where the grey areas kind of crop up. We're looked after by foundations, which are essentially charities, so they don't have as much money and things. So I'd like to see Super League get kind of ring fenced and move to more of a protected bit where there's more money. So when money comes in, like even if clubs struggle with money, which is a genuine thing in our sport because we're under foundations or we're under charities, is some people won't like this, more centralised venues where teams can pool resources, pool money if we have to, and then we can have all the teams play on the same day. And then that's an opportunity for television, that's an opportunity to get more guests in. Like if you're playing in Nottingham, get in touch with the university, get in touch with the wheelchair basketball teams, wheelchair tennis teams, get in touch with a book club, whatever, just to get different people in there to see stuff. But I'd like to see Wheelchair Super League exclusively get moved out of kind of the inclusion branch into a more of a performance role, where like you've got the women there, the men's team's there, but I feel like at the moment it's grey. It's grey. So we're in elite, we're Betfred Super League, we carry the Super League brand, we're on live on Sky Sports, huge kind of things. But then when we get to the league getting run, it can get quite murky with the community-based part of it and the foundations. But yeah, let's get Super League ring-fenced, boxed off, and then moved into it where someone, so like the members of staff at the RFL who run that role, they're pulled from, the pillar post, different branches and different things they have to manage. So move it into a role where someone can be a bit more specific about what the Wheelchair Super League is and how it's kind of run.
So you just mentioned playing all games in one venue, so similar to what the playoff system happened like in Super League this time around. I think that has a massive potential. Obviously, you were there at the grand final. Imagine if every Super League match looked like that grand final. There were a show put on there for everybody. The atmosphere was absolutely immense. Yeah,
it was great.
What were your thoughts on, not on just the match, but the event?
I think Sky are fantastic. They're amazing. I've worked with them a lot, and I've done some commentary for the running game as well, so it's nice to be behind the scenes and see how it all governs and how it... And I can tell you now, having done men's running game and women's running games and wheelchair, they're not scrimping and saving for wheelchair games. You're getting the full beans. You're getting everything. The producers, the cameras, everything that is at the men's game is there. We're not getting anything second rate. Costs about 30 grand to put that on. It's a lot of money.
We were shocked when we first walked into that hall.
And you won't be able to get that every time. But what you could get is, obviously, I know it's not as simple as this. I've been involved in this a lot. It's not as simple as this. Sportsman's an opportunity. And if you've got more games in one location, it becomes more cost effective. You've got our league, you've got Super League, plus there is other ways to do it. If it's televised, you have to have commentary though. You can't just stick the game on. You need commentary, you need something there, even if that's players from other teams who might have experience in it. But yeah, I think you're allowed to change opinions, and a few years ago I was kind of against the central venues. I was like, no, we want to be at Leeds, we want 300 fans in there, we want that. Where as you I want the game to be the best it is, full-size pitches, possibility for television, having all the games together so you build a bigger atmosphere. I think, and I know people disagree with me, and that's fine. I want to be challenged, challenge me, but I think central venues are a really good idea, even to the sense where you could have half the season, central venues. A few years ago we played each other, then we split into like top four, and then we did all of them central venues, and then we did playoffs. So we did everyone played each other once, then we did central venues, and then we did semi-finals, finals. So maybe something like that. But I'm a big fan of it. I didn't used to be, and I am now. I've kind of come around. I've changed my opinion that I think it's a really good way to pool all our resources, get everyone together, money, the event. We can actually have a full-size pitch. Full-size pitch brings out the best in the players. You're going to see the best in them. Match officials, it's nice and special for them to play in a bigger arena. But yeah, I think that is an option, something we can look at.
Yeah.
And you just put your hand up there for doing a bit of commentary work as well, do you think?
Oh mate, I love the game. Bottom line is I love wheelchair rugby, and when someone go and watch the documentary about like how I got into the sport, but you'll see that this sport genuinely, and the sport is full of people like this sport genuinely changed my life. Absolutely changed my life. Do you know, I needed it at the time. I didn't realise I needed it at the time. I needed it. I've been an ambassador for a World Cup. I've played 31 games for England. I've captained England. Captained my hometown city. Do you know, I've won 10 Super League era trophies. I've been on TV. It's me bigging it up, but this is the opportunities I've been given through this sport is absolutely immense, and I will do anything to make this game bigger and better than it is. And sometimes people don't like that as well, but you've got to be challenged, and I see things differently. Some people, they see things differently to me. Challenge each other, and let's come to whatever we think the best is. But I absolutely love this sport, and I will fight to make it as best as it can be, whatever that may be.
I think that's what everybody wants, really.
Yeah.
The buzz around the grand final day and everything, it was just fantastic, wasn't it? I think everybody who were there really felt that buzz. There were a lot of people who had watched live rugby league for the first time ever at that match, and nobody watches Wheelchair Rugby League and goes,
No.
"Oh, it were all right."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nobody comes away with that opinion.
I love it, because when people see it for the first time on TV and they fall in love with it, it's that we always used to say this with the World Cup, but it's like an overnight success that's taken 20 years.
Yeah.
People think, oh, this is really good. Look at this, this is amazing. You're like, it's taken us 20 years to get to this point.
Yeah.
So you're like, it's been a lot of hard work behind the scenes from a lot of people. But mate, it is fantastic. It is a fantastic sport, and I will die on that hill, and I will always fight for it, and I will always portray it in a positive way and get the best for it. But I just want us to be bigger and better, and we can be. We've just got to. We've got to change stuff and challenge and take it to another level. Do you know?
Get people in the conversation about it.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. When you look across the sport, the wealth of experience. You had Dave Butler on. 20 years he's worked International Rugby League, European Rugby League. That guy knows rugby league inside out. Martin Gill, coach at Castleford Tigers Academy, coach at Gateshead Thunder, coach in the running game. You have a wealth of people in this sport who can give you different ideas, challenge you in different ways. Gilly challenges me now. Like, do you know, I'll message him stuff and he's like, well, why? And I'm like, it's okay to say why.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, yeah, you're right, why? Like, why are you seeing this, why are you seeing that? And I challenge him. But yeah, mate, there is a wealth of people in this sport that like you could just tap into it. And we can take this game even bigger and better, mate, like it is.
I suppose that from our point of view, from League of Wheels point of view, not only do we want to bring the news to everyone, we want to make it a bigger thing as well.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why we started what we did. You know, we were very brand new to the game ourselves. You know, me personally, coming from the running game, you know, my health declining, and then finding the wheelchair game, it's done tons for me as well. So I know exactly how you feel when you say how much the wheelchair game's done for you. But that's what we want to do as well, don't we? We want to make the game as big as it is possible.
The sport is just too good to be...
I'm hooked on it, mate.
Yeah, it's just too good not to be in front of everybody's eyes, in my opinion.
And when I kind of say about like moving Super League into something else, because I think that is one of the barriers at the moment. It's because we're in the community aspect of the sport.
Yeah.
Everyone knows how good it is. You see it on Sky and you're like, this is just incredible. Yeah. So I just think we need to move into that role where, so during the World Cup era, we were in the mainstream media constantly, like that. And England, when they go to Australia, will be in the mainstream media, which is fantastic, and there should be. Lewis getting the captaincy, mainstream media, amazing. We need the regular season, something to be in the mainstream media, the players, the stories, the background, the everything. We need, and if we move the Super League into some kind of branch where we have access to that more, someone coming to clubs and doing, I don't know, little 10-minute documentaries, someone from, you know, coming in from above, making, like you watch the women's game, like I ain't got a clue about any of this because I'm 39 years old, but like the women's game do all the, like, TikToks and, you know, like all that, like, it sounds cheesy, mate, but that's the 21st century and that's what kind of has reach.
But we spoke about this before, where it's kind of found itself in a bubble it didn't used to be in, that it kind of needs to get itself back out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. We need to be out of, it's the echo chamber kind of thing we go back to, like you need different voices, different opinions, different people to get eyes on and let's get it out. Let's break through that little
Yeah.
That little barrier, and I think it's a little barrier. We just got to push through it and get out on the other side, mate, and get back out there. And like, it's great preaching to people within the game. We all know it, and I'm not going to be the only person to say this. We all know how good it is. Let's get out of it, regardless of what it is and what it takes. Like, let's just get out of it. And the grand final is the biggest opportunity we have at the moment for snippets, getting out, like tries. Do you know, like scores, celebrations? We need more little snippets that are getting out there and getting on social media. And I don't have Facebook. I barely go on Instagram. Twitter, I've got it, but I'll never go on it. But I fully understand how powerful that is to have things that are going viral. Nathan Collins did a conversion.
Oh, I've seen this video.
in a World Cup game. Was it Leeds game? It doesn't matter. But it went viral, and people were like taking the piss out of him. Yeah. But Nathan was like, I don't care. We've gone. Look how many views we've got.
Exactly.
Like, it gets out there, and
I think there were hundreds of thousands of views.
Massive, and snippets. Just get these snippets and like.
Is this the one where there was a comedian?
An American American comedian.
There's one recently where an American comedian.
I can't remember.
Reviewing the conversion.
Yeah. I can't remember, but that might have been one of the.
But that were only a recent one. I only saw it.
Yeah.
That were only like within last month or so.
Yeah, last month. Yeah.
But things like that.
But it had like millions of views.
Yeah. Scraps will be like, where are my Instagram followers? Like, that's gone viral. Tag me in it and get my Instagram followers.
Get in touch. Please tag me for my content.
We did. So we use like most Super League teams now have VO cams, and we've had ours for a couple of years. And they did a thing a few years ago. Send us in your clips of tries. So I sent one in. I clipped it. I sent it in. And then they shared that on their Instagram, and then it came like second in, like did like an awards thing where people could vote on based on them, and it came second or something like that. And then that got millions of followers, just that one, and they put like a music over it. Maybe not millions, hundreds of thousands, but put music over it, and you're like, that snippets, little snippets that we can just send out, which again feeds into the argument of full-size pitches, bigger venues. It has to look good. Can't be doing it in a sports hall in. I was going to say something there, but I don't want anyone to be like, why are you picking on us?
Batley.
We'll go with Batley. In a Batley, it can't be that. Like, do you know, it needs to be a full-size pitch, like with the sticks up and everything. That's the content we need to be getting out there.
So it's like things like Try of the Year and things like that, you know. You need to start showing things like that. And, you know.
Jody won Try of the Year.
Tackle of the Year.
Try of the Week. Jody won Try of the Week on our league in 2019 in the Challenge Cup final. And nobody's won it since from Wheelchair. She won it. And that usually people are territorial about who they vote for.
Yeah.
Vote for St Helens because I'm a Saints fan. Yeah. Jodie won that, which was incredible. Like, it was a really good try. It's the only last time she's won it.
Yeah. There were two Jack Brown tries on the Try of the Week last week.
Yeah, I voted.
there were two, but it was the same week that Salford went and put that try on.
And when you're spreading Jack across two tries, you almost want to be like, just do one, and then we can pull that vote.
Everybody should do that one.
We all need to get together and be like, let's just pick one.
Maybe that's what
everyone vote for that.
Too many. Jack scoring too many quality tries.
Yeah. Instead of 20%, there's 10% on each. You're like, just get rid of one of them. Let's just everyone pile on that one.
Again, another fantastic guest that we've had on.
We done?
Almost. It's almost time.
Yeah, well, normally we have as fixtures and results as well, don't we?
Well, season's done, isn't it?
Season's done now, so
that's why I'm in this. If the season was on, I'd been in the Leeds shirt, and I was like, no.
Another thing, I just want to ask you one more thing. What is your highlight of your career so far?
That's a great question. Do you know, like, how long have we got?
No pressure.
No pressure. Do you know, like, there's a lot of amazing moments. Obviously, winning the World Cup, like that whole World Cup cycle was something else. And I don't really remember a lot of games. I remember a lot of things behind the scenes, the moments that make that. Like we had this kind of thing we came up with, like this moment matters. It was one of our mottos where, like, right now, this will never happen again. Like this, never, can't. Like it's that. So you've really got to be in the moment and treasure it. And on that whole World Cup cycle, so many little moments that were just amazing that I still remember now and smile at, like little interactions with players or little things that happened. But like, that's my big thing, the memories, and I'm proud of a lot of things I've done in this game. But one of my proudest things is being the ambassador for it for the World Cup. Like, you know, the on-field stuff is absolutely amazing, and I will never forget any of that. That game against Catalan in 2022, we won the Challenge Cup final. I was ill for 3 days after that, and I couldn't get out of bed, and I was done. It was awful, and like my wife was worried at one point. She was like, "You've used every last ounce of what you've got here. You've pushed yourself to breaking point, and but being the ambassador for the sport, having the opportunity to be, it's cliche, but like the face of the whole sport for 4 years, I'm really proud of that and what we achieved and what we got to do from it. And that is probably years down the line when all my shirts are hung up and I'm like looking back, that is probably one of my proudest things, is having that responsibility and that opportunity to go into rooms and meet people and just talk about Wheelchair Rugby League on such a big level and get those opportunities. That's probably my proudest moment. It's not a moment, but my proudest kind of contribution to the game.
That's the highlight reel. That's good. I love it. Thanks a lot, James. What do you think to us questions? Did we manage to get a few in there that you've not been asked before?
Yeah, I think so.
We've done his job then, haven't we?
No, it was good. Honestly, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. And like, they keep it up. Just keep it up, man. Keep chipping away. Do you know? Keep chipping away.
I mean, we love it. We just like coming and chatting to people as well. Even like we did today, chatting before. We'll have a chat afterwards and everything. Just getting to know everybody around the sport and everything's been absolutely fantastic.
If you need
it builds our knowledge up of the game, you know, and it brings us something new to talk about every single week.
And if you need it from me, mate, you know, just give us a shout. I'm only 20 minutes away.
That's it. You're a star.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, James. Did you enjoy that, Tom?
I did, mate. Did you?
Absolutely did. All right, thanks again, guys, for joining us on episode 10 of the League on Wheels podcast. Well, it's just a sad sound then.
It's a sound. No, it's not a sad sound, but I suppose with it coming to the end of the season, it's going to be close to us for quietening down a little bit, won't it?
Yeah.
The podcast side of things.
We've got another one coming up in a couple of weeks' time, the grand finale of 2025. So a few good guests on that one. Exciting one for us there. So do join us again in a couple of weeks for that. Yeah. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, anything else. Buy a t-shirt, buy a cap.
Hoodie.
Bag. Yeah. Get involved. Every little thing that you can do to help us will help us bring more content out for Wheelchair Rugby League. And we have some massive plans for next year, Tom.
We do.
And it's your support that's going to help us get there with them plans, all being well. Fingers crossed everywhere. So thanks a lot, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers, guys.
Bye-bye.